Yeah, here it is, Friday, and time to put another video out on the TR7. So this week, what happened this week? There was lots of little things, so little things and big things and stuff. Anyhow, on the back end, I had a note from one of the viewers that, hey, you got that wrong. So I've straightened them out that they're right now. Thank you very much for that info. I don't know if I got that last week or this week. Anyhow, it's fixed. Then I went ahead and I got the carpeting set up and inside the car, and it's sitting pretty good. I haven't done the back yet because I still have to put the roof on before I do anything of that. Then I went and I put all the dashboard in, and everything on the dashboard works, even the cigarette lighter. So I'm happy with that. This part here, interconnectedness of everything there, you have to take it apart about 5 times to get it all to go together the right way. And I still have to hang those wires up. I have to take them apart to get them up over the right spot. But mostly it's okay. I even put the little oil pressure gauge back into its spot there. So we're all set to, now next week I'll get after the roof, put that on, and see if I can figure out how to put the new fabric on it. And I hope the parts will show up soon or someday. Anyway, hope you enjoy it all. I'll quit rambling on. Oh yeah, the pods work now. Last thing I did today was make them work, and they work right. So you'll be happy to see that. You have to stick around to the end of the show to see it though. Anyhow, have fun. Bye for now. Yeah, so Ian, thankfully, people watch and people actually pay attention. So Ian tells me that I've got the lights in the wrong ends here. This white is supposed to be in the middle, so this light should be on that side, that light should be on this side, and that'll make it right, eh? And Ian is right, and there's proof. Here's the proof on the Triumph calendar. So here, I know you can see that. So the white's towards the middle, which is the right way to be. Thanks, Ian. I'll get it fixed. Yeah, December also has the same reverse lights towards the center. Yep. Oh well. If there's a chance to, if you got a 50-50 chance to get it right, well, you know what happens with me all the time. It's wrong. Anyway, I'll carry on. Thanks a lot. Oh, there we go. It's recording. Anyway, I guess I got to take these tail lights out from each side. Where am I here? Yeah, right there. And then just switch them around side to side so that the reverse light goes to the inside. Whoops, sorry. Reverse light goes to the inside. Anyway, I'll get that sorted out. Yeah, there's the lights back out again, right? Anybody that wants to know about that double-sided tape, works really good. There's no, it made it very difficult to get the lights back out. It seemed that everything was sealed all right, so I'm pretty happy with it. See if I can get it off of here this last little bit. Had to put a couple of extra pieces on because it ripped it off. Anyway, but there's also this little tab there for putting a ground wire on. So the ground wire goes from the wiring harness to here, and you bolt it on, but I'm going to make another, just a short ground wire go across. Where is it? Right here. Just a short ground wire to go across from end to end. So I'll put it in my, well, need 10 hands, hang on. I'll put it in my little thing here that I've made. And then one end will go on here, like that. And the other end will go on like that. And the other end will go on here, and I'll solder them on here. So I'll show you when I get it soldered on there. Yeah, so there you go. There's the little piece. Now I gotta get it out of there. Doing stuff with one hand is difficult sometimes. There. So there's the little piece. Now I'm gonna just clip it on here. It goes on this thing right here. that, and then I'll have it onto that post there where the other ground wire goes on the same post, and that'll, well, double ground it, eh? Yeah, there you go, Ian. There you go, Neil. They're switched around, and that tape on there works pretty damn good. It makes it very hard to get them out. I'm going to presume that the brake light will work. I can set up the camera again and go and test it. In fact, that's what I'll do. Hang on. Yeah, there now. I'll just go around and test the brake. I'll put my foot on the brake. Then you guys get to see it first, right? Turn off the flashers. There's right-hand flasher. Hopefully it's working. There's left-hand flasher. Hopefully it's working. There's the reverse lights are off. Parking lights are off. Brake light. Now I gotta get my foot in here. Maybe I can put my hand in here. Brake on. Brake off. Brake on. Brake off. Brake on. Now, brake off. So, did it work? You tell me, eh? I guess I'll check the film and see. So one thing I did discover with these that time around, here's one here, I'll take this one out easily. Sometimes you don't get a good ground on there because they fit really loose. Now I tried bending this part of the tab up and down and back and forth and nothing happened. But this part of the tab, that's where it gets the spring effect. So if you bend that part of the tab up a bit on both sides, see in the back here, just take a pair of pliers and bend that up a bit, then it gets lots of pressure holding it against the thing. You got to press in and make it really hold, and then that solves a lot of the grounding problems. Plus I put the double ground on there. And Tony, what are you doing up there? Putting kitty prints all over my car again. You're terrible. What do you want to do? Get to the roof somehow? I can't get to the roof. That's not allowed. Kitties aren't allowed up there. Oh well. Kitties sure do like to get in places though, hey? Come on back down and don't scratch the car. Yeah, put a kitty footprint in, but don't scratch it, right? You want to go in the trunk? You want to go in the trunk, or you want to just say hello here? Yeah. Okay, that's enough of that. Yeah, so these little things here that cover the shock absorbers were in better shape than I thought they were. So, quite happy with that. So I just wire wheeled them and then cleaned them out inside and out. Had them in rust remover overnight. And wire wheeled them and cleaned them all up and put a bit of paint on them and they'll be fine. Now I'm going to go in the back here and I'll put some of that double-sided tape around them here. Oops, where am I pointing? I'll put some double-sided tape, foam tape around here and then be able to put them on. Yeah, now it gets this sound deadening stuff on here, and then it gets the sound deadening stuff in the recesses of the floor down there. So I'll see if I have enough of that stuff. I'll make it work. So what you do is just cut it out to the size. I have this is the old one here. So I just cut it out the same as that. Then I've got headliner glue. So I'll just put headliner glue on both sides and let it, and then stick it down, and that'll hold it. So it better be right the first time. Yeah, there now. I cleaned up the wiring in there a little bit. Wait till I put some light on here. Maybe. Any better? Who knows? Cleaned it up so that everything is up away from the floor and all the connections come up, and that wire that goes to the back comes up there out of the way. A couple of wires here that I still don't know what they're for. I imagine they'll become readily apparent someday. those wires there, I presume that they go into the in here to the radio and stuff like that, but I don't know that for a fact. And I think these ones here are likely to do with radio and stuff like that. But all the electrical system seems to work okay. Even the pop-up lights go up and down. Not perfect, but they do go up and down. So I've been cleaning the floor. I cleaned the floor over there, and I'm going to put, now it's just about the end of the day, so I'll finish cleaning the floor on this side here, and then I'll tomorrow put some underlay in there and see if I can get the carpet fitted. The carpet is interesting to put in there. That's an understatement, I think. Yeah, there we go. That's it for today. Oh, I missed a little bit right there, so I'll just, not quite it for the day. I'll clean that off and then it'll be it for the day. So this stuff here is pretty near ready to get underlay down. I'll cut out underlay to fit in those spots, and then I'll see about fitting the carpet in there. So the carpet gets glued along the side here first. So first goes in the underlay, I think. Then the carpet along here gets glued to this side. Then the carpet gets in there, glued down. We'll just see how it all works out. They've got about 100 pieces there. Yeah, so time to put carpet in. So these pieces, they actually fit pretty good. That piece goes in, and then this piece goes on top of it in here. And it has a cutout to get around that corner there. And these things here I can get bent down into the position. This one here, I'm just going to give it a snip along here so it'll fit nice on both sides of that. And then carry on. But one piece fits over the other, so it's, you know, it's all complete carpeting when it's done. And the cutouts here seem to be about the right spot. Like this cutout here is just right on there. So good. Where did I point? Right there? It's like this cutout right here fits right to where you'd think it should, right about there. Have to do a little bit of a cut right up there. Then, but mostly it seems to be pretty good. Now I did go on to Rusty Beauties. He did did a TR7, did the seats and the carpets, so I've got a lot of information from there on how to do this. And he built the carpets in-house to fit, but these ones here, they're not too bad. Now that I know where the pieces go, it's all right. Yeah, there now, that piece fits in there pretty nicely, and it comes down along that line there and just sort of sits there. So I did make a cut right here. Oops. Made a cut right here so this would fit and drop in there like that. And then that makes it so that everything along there fits nicely. And I made a cut right up there for where the wires go through. I'll likely just cut that piece right out of there. Now, I'll glue it on and see if that'll be that. Once it's glued on, then you're done. Yeah, so this stuff here, heavy duty automotive headliner adhesive. I have this, when this runs out I've got a bunch of Gorilla stuff. So I just put that paper down underneath here to keep the glue off of my table. So away we go. And you just spray this on. There's a half of it done. Now I'll move it down and do the other half on the paper. Yeah, there, that's all glued up. And with that stuff, and then I spray here where it's going to go. I think I've got it all. I might need a little bit more right there. I'll give it another little splatter right there. Hang on. Yeah, right here. Like if you get it a little bit too much on there, it's all right because going to use it on the other side anyhow. Same idea. So it goes to the middle, eh? Ish. Anyway, there we go. Let that stuff all get tacky. Yeah, there I was talking away to nothing again. They say to wait 5 minutes and then do it, whatever you want to, then put it together. So I'll give it another couple of minutes here, and if you do it too soon, then it sticks like mad and you can't move it. But if you do it just at the right time, then you can move it a bit and it still will hold tight. And if you're too late with it, then you just put some heat to it, and the heat will loosen the glue again so that it activates the glue again. So anyway, there's all sorts of ways to do it. Yeah, that piece is in now, and that actually looks like it follows all the contours nicely. It's not exactly perfect, but pretty awful close. The trick is to pick a spot where you know it's in the right spot when you put the first piece to it, and then you get a chance to get the rest of it in the right spot, because once it gets stuck on stuff, it's stuck. Well, you can lift it and move it a bit, but not too much. Next piece to go in is this side piece along here. Am I talking? Yeah, like right along here underneath my rag, and it just gets glued straight on, and then the floor piece will go on after that. So I guess we're on to finding the side piece here. Yeah, so now with this next piece, I'm just gonna glue along about that much right there, and then put glue along here, same sort of thing. Then I'll get it on there, stuck on good, and then I'll flip it up, glue the backside, and spray in there, and then push it down into place, I hope. We'll see how that works. That'll be an experiment. Yeah, the pieces fit surprisingly well. This piece here now, I've got it glued down just a few, like not all the way. And now I've got this bit here ready to, not tacky enough yet to glue on, but I've made this ready for gluing up back in the back here. And so I'll see about getting it. I was dreading this job, but it's not so bad as I thought it could have been, or maybe it is. Anyhow, it seems to be going along all right, so I'll just give that another minute and I'll put it on. Then I'll spray the back side. I'll pull this up, spray the back side, spray the back side of this and on the car, and then put that piece down. Seems to be coming along, so we're all right. Yeah, no, so that piece laid in there pretty good. Pretty well, that's right, Ray. A little bit of a couple of glue spots there that I'll have to clean off somehow or other. Don't know how yet. I imagine it can tell me right on that. Now that back bit fits pretty good. So, and I've got you can see the way that it fits into the humps of the car. This one here, I left it like you could push that down, but I'm not going to because it's no need to. And I was able to find, well, I was pointing out, you can push that down into that metal, but there's no need to. In here, it actually fit along pretty nice and just sort of dropped right in and followed the curve of the car. So I'm happy with that. Get all the old glue off of the underneath one there. Now, it's just the front one to go, and that should just slide right in there. Then I was able to find all the holes. There's a hole there, there's a hole there, there's a hole there, and there's a hole there. And I just cut them out with a razor blade. So there you go. Yeah, there it is. That's in. This side here might be okay. And it all sort of fits in pretty nicely. There's this edging here comes along. I've got it going just right in the boundary here, so that this will come up nice. This part here will come up nicely, and that part there fits. But the edging then it goes over here. Now I didn't glue it back here, but it's glued right there to hold it down. So that looks pretty nice. Then I can get a set of car mats if I want to, but I don't think I'll ever need to because, I mean, gee whiz, how much am I going to drive this in the winter? Never. So there, looks pretty nice. I was getting started on the other side there whilst this stuff here was getting tacky. So there. Now I'll do the same thing on the other side and I'll show you when I'm done with it. Yeah, there it is, done. For the floor parts, I still have some more carpeting here. Don't know for sure where it goes. I think one sits across here and the one goes right around the back. But I have to wait until I get the doors installed before I can put that stuff on because otherwise I'd be getting in the way of the doors. But I can go ahead and install these, whatever you call these things here. I'll do that. And then that'll be about it for the day because it's after 5 o'clock already. Don't you know, the day goes by pretty quick. But I'm happy that I got all that carpeting in and it looks good. Like and it fits to the contours and everything looks all right. I'll go around the other side here. We can have a look at both sides then. Wasn't as dreadful a job as I was anticipating. In fact, it wasn't a bad job at all. I did eventually figure out that I should have my respirator on because the fumes from that glue are fairly substantial. Anyway, there you go. That's all for today. See you tomorrow. Yeah, so here's the gas cap thing. It's a, it protects it from getting the paint all bashed up. But here's the screws that came out of it. And they're pretty yucky. But from another life, I have these nice stainless hex head screws that should fit, that do fit. So I'll use these. That'll look, you won't see them, but they look better. Yeah, while I was thinking about it, I figured out these gaps here, like that one and that one. So that one there, a tiny bit narrower than that, but I'm not unhappy with it. This one was very narrow and this one was very wide. And just a matter of adjusting this part here. There's 3 bolts, loosen them off and just move it over a tiny bit. Now I can likely move it over another tiny bit and that'll clean that up maybe. Yeah, if they were all so easy as that, but looks pretty good now. That's an equal gap all the way around, so I'm happy with that. And it sits level. There's still this little bit of a high spot here. I don't know why, but can you see that? You can just sort of make it out a little bit right there. That part of the hood's a tiny bit higher. Don't know why. Yeah, there, that thing's on now, and you can see one of the screws down there. In fact, you can see all the screws down there, and they actually look pretty good, stainless steel things. So that's good. I'm happy with that. Yeah, so here's these things are in here too. The shock covers. There and there. Now, what was I going to do? I was going to put that vinyl stuff on there. I'll see if I can cut a nice square piece that'll fit on there. Yeah, there, that closes those 2 big gaping holes into the trunk, but down through there, that's right into the trunk through there. Can you see back in there? There, go into the trunk, eh? And there's that hole there and that hole there. Same on this side. So I know I can cover up that hole there with a piece of vinyl. And this one here, I have to leave it until I get the doors all adjusted and stuff like that. So anyway, let that be for now. And then this carpeting here, I can't really put that in until I get the roof on because the roof has to go first. Yeah, so now this part here, which is a interior bit, goes around the steering wheel when you're, I don't know where, but around the steering wheel so that you can't see all the wires and stuff. The ignition goes right there, eh? Anyway, that only came with 1 screw. Well, there was this screw here was the only one in the car. So I had to build a new screw here. I had larger stock, so I took it on the lathe and I made it skinnier, and then I made it to the same width as that one, and then I threaded it up to the right thread. That's M4.7, hey, M4770, whatever they call that. Anyhow, there you go, 70, must be 70 threads per inch or something. So maybe 70 threads per centimeter, who knows? Yeah, now I have lots of plastic pieces. I washed this off outside before I brought it in. But I got a box full of plastic pieces there. I got the dash piece there. This piece came off on the way over. Don't know where it goes. Then more plastic pieces here. So I think what I'll do is I'll sort of get started with the dash. Now, what way does that dash stuff go in there? I wonder if I have to put the instrument configuration in there before I put the dash in, or oh, I forget. Yeah, did you get any of that? Likely not, because I don't think it was running. Anyhow, there you go. That light switch, the little blinky light on there, works now. I wanted to get that working before I put the dash back in. So there's a black wire right here, and then there's that green and some color. Might be slate, but it might not be. And then it comes back into the switch, so that when the switch is turned on, that light there, that gets power, and it goes in and gives that little light bulb a jolt. But there was bad connections, like I had to take out those two connectors, which you do with a little screwdriver, and push them out because there's a sort of a pin that holds them on the back. And then cleaned them off with CLR. I cleaned off the light bulb stuff with CLR, tested the light bulb on the bench over there, and it worked. So put them all back together and made sure that before I put them back together, I made sure that the light bulb was getting continuity through both those pins. And it was, so then it should work, of course. And it did. There you are. Yeah, so now I'll let this dry before I really come up with a verdict. But you see that side, and you see that side, there's a big, big difference there. So this side here, what I did, I've got this, it's a very soft, it's a wire brush, but it's soft. And fantastic, apparently cleans everything. So that looks pretty good. I'll go after this side here, and then I'll let them both dry and then see what it comes out like afterwards. Yeah, that's quite a bit cleaner than when it started, so in fact I'm happy with it now. I did fantastic and the wire brush and then wipe it off. Then I went after it with this stuff here, which is like white wall tire cleaner, eh? And that stuff seems to it'll take the chrome off a bumper hitch, as Willie Nelson says. Anyhow, looks like it's pretty good now. That's Dennis's secret formula for cleaning stuff, is that tire cleaning stuff. So now, what time is it? About quitting time, so I'll save the disappointment of putting it back into the car till tomorrow and see what happens. Yeah, so that, here I am, next day. That went from uncleanable to looks really good. So, I'm happy with that. I'll just carry on. I'll get this installed, then I'll clean the next piece and install it. Yeah, so I went to Princess's Auto, and I've got a few things. One of these things is that spray 9 that seems to work pretty good. And I got a set of little files here, plus a nice little triangle file, medium-sized triangle file, and a rat-tail bastard file, or whatever they call those things. Let me see. Round bastard file. There you go. Anyway, so that'll take another, after I do this stuff here, what I'm working on, I'll take another run at these guys here and and I'll actually do a better job of making that arm thing work. Yeah, sometimes things come apart easier than they go back together. But now I did get the scoops for the defroster get attached to here. Then the you can sort of see that in there. There's that defroster air hose. This one here. It's got to go behind the scoop and then get hooked onto the air outlet on the heater box. And then these pieces here have to go on there for the defroster. But I'll worry about them once I get the rest of it sort of in here. And then the wiring for the light switches and stuff come out the front here above that vent. And hopefully it'll all get together here soon. Yeah, not to forget this little metal piece that goes right on there. And that makes it so you can get this hole to hook into something. Same on the other side. Now I had to go digging for them. I remember seeing them somewhere, and there they were somewhere. Yeah, so the duct for this thing here, right? For that, what do you call that? Defroster, right? It has to be, so I screwed in this screw here, which holds the dash tight to there. But to be able to get this part on, this thing here on, you have to sort of lift up and then push it back down. So I unscrewed the other side over there, did that, leaving this one screwed in so that I wouldn't lose my positioning. Now I'm going to unscrew this one, lift on this side, and see if I can get that positioned in there. Then I think it's, well, dashboards, nothing is straightforward. Well, that was surprisingly easy. So now there's, in there you can see, wait, I'll turn on the light here. There, you can see where my fuse box is there now, and it's all fairly neat. You have to reach way up in behind there to get a hold of a couple of those relays, so hopefully they don't go bad. Then over here, these wires come through here, and then that wiring thing goes on there. But first I'll find the, I'll get the bolts holding this all together first. Don't remember, but I imagine it'll all come together. Then the wiring for the wiring harness for the dashboard is there, and that'll just drop into place, I hope. So then let's start. Looks like a car up here. What do you know? And I've got a cover. I have the cover for that back. It's just a, you know, the original cover. Where is it, I wonder? Somewhere over here. It even has the fuses marked on it. It's never around when I want it, but who knows? It's here somewhere. Now, on the original thing, I've got black panels coming. On the original car, there was vinyl there, and gotta get a wiring harness through there somehow. Maybe I put the cart before the horse here. Well. We'll see. I'll hopefully be able to get the wiring through there. And anyway, well, I was going to go on about something about, yeah, the vinyl on here, just right in this area. But I'm just going to put that plastic, not plastic, it's a vinyl, sticky vinyl stuff on there to cover it, and that'll look okay. Yeah, that wasn't too tough to get that through there. I just put a piece of wire, wire with a hook on it and taped it on the end there, and it came through. Now, I think I've forgotten something though. I forgot to put a rubber grommet on there, but that's a square hole. I'll think about that. I might have to just put some foam tape around that. Yeah, same idea for this wire here. Has to come through here, and then a little, like the door opening switch goes on there. So I just put a piece of wire on there, and hopefully it'll come through. Might take a bit of jiggling, but I'll jiggle it around and get it through there. Yeah, all the jiggling and wiggling worked. So this part here gets pushed back so that is in that that wire just comes down in between the two. Now this gets pushed back, this wire gets pushed back into the post after I put the switch on here, which I have a new one maybe. Yeah, so that was a bit of a job to get that thing on there, but it's on there now and feeling good. So I put a little bit of soap at that end of it there just to make it a bit more slippy, and it seemed to do the job. These wires here for the speaker, I'll wait till they're in the car. These are for the speaker. I'll wait till they're in the car before I do anything about them. The door is on, I guess is what I meant to say. And then we'll see what happens after that. I guess the door's got to go on fairly soon. Don't know when. We'll see. I guess the rubber will cover that in there. Oh, anyhow, I'll keep on putting it together here. I'll put the wiring in the other door. Well, I have to hook it in underneath here somewhere. I gotta find that ends and hook them together, but that's doable now that I've got it this far. Yeah, this side here is a bit easier. Well, so far. I took a longer wire, right? And I was able to push it straight up through here, and the hole is up here somewhere. So, and that just came right through. So now I'll feed it down through and I'll get this wire to go to the door. Now this side here had 2 switches on it originally. Don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, so there now I put this courtesy switch in. There's another one here, but the wires aren't in this harness. I don't know what the wires were for. Anyway, now I'll see if I can get that rubber thing in here. That might be a bit of a challenge too. I'll do some work on it here. Now this rubber thing is on there too. Now I can only hope it's going to be so easy getting them into the door. So next is trying to figure out how to fix this dashboard business. I don't quite remember. Must be a bolt or something goes through there. Another one over there. Likely something down here to hold it. Yeah, looks like there's a fair place for a screw there. I'll just see what I can find. Yeah, I've been leaving you behind. Anyhow, there's the dashboard in there, I hope, and it's solid. So now it's just decoration plastic goes around everywhere. Not sure what to do about the radio yet, whether I should stick it in there or not, but I think I will, just with the radio that's existing. I won't think I'll hook it up until one day I'll get a new radio for it. And the steering wheel, of course, has to go up there. So I was working away and I figured I better hook up this wire out here, and don't you know I found a broken wire, so I fixed that. And that side's all in, this side's all in. Screw here, screw here, screw there, screw there, screw there, and then all the things, the components on the back. This little, I'll call it a relay for a better name. That's where it was when I took it apart, so that's where it went back to. And then there's some pieces, plastic pieces go on here, but right now, before I do anything else, I'm going to hook up the battery and just see if I've screwed up any electronics. See if everything works, or see if some things work. Okay? See if I blow a bunch of fuses. No fuses blew. That's a good sign. So now, just see here. Yeah, the clock's going. That must mean, that means something. Well, the heater goes. So it now blows heat down here somewhere. There's some heat going to the defroster, and then there's air going there. That must be cold and hot. Nothing coming there. Lots of it going there. Some coming here, but I think it's just blowing past these little plastic things. Maybe, maybe not. that goes up. I don't know where that comes from. And then that makes the air come right out of there. So that all works. Oh shit. Hey, what do you know? What do you know? So then, oh, blinker's working. Or something's working. Yeah, blinker on this side's going. Now the blinker on that side's going, but the little blinky light's not coming on. What did I do there? There's the little light. There's Tony. I'll test this light and see if it works. Yeah, so of course, as soon as you put stuff together, stuff stops working. So, put it all together, and then I turned on the lights, and the marker light and the signal light, or the marker lights on this side, weren't working for unrelated causes, which is weird, but you know, that's just like, so I thought it was a switch, but it wasn't a switch, so now everything's working. Yeah, there it's going. The cat is liking the carpeting in here. He's finding it quite comfortable. So that light works, marker light works. They all work again. So, and then, you know, I was chasing down the problem, and then I blew a fuse, so I didn't know. So anyhow, I fixed it. Then the other thing that wouldn't work was the signal lights. This little signal light thing was working all right, but these little flasher things here. Oops, I gotta turn on the key for that. So key on, right? Signal left, and that little thing wasn't working before. For whatever reason, just because I likely bashed it the wrong way when I was taking it out. So I took it all apart, cleaned it up, put it back together. Headlights, maybe. Yeah, they even come up and stopped. Ooh. High beams, low beams. Horn works. So, I think I haven't really screwed up anything too badly. No worse than it was screwed up before, anyhow. So, there. And emergency flashers work, and the little light blinks there. These lights here blink. I don't know, can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. So, and the cat, are you happy with it, Tony? Are you happy? Yeah, you're not. You don't care. Tony doesn't care. And this is the fog lights, which I'll put a set of fog lights on it sometime. Now, that's it for today. We spend a whole day chasing down stuff in here. So, I'll shut it down and come back again tomorrow. How come those lights are still on? There, they're off. And, hey, the clock is working. Tick, 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 tick. Just like a Timex, right? Okay, so carry on tomorrow. Yeah, so this light here wasn't working. The reason it wasn't working was when I was installing the pod, this pod here, I got the wires for it jammed up underneath and pulled on them and broke, well, just pulled the connections in there. So I figured that out, and I'll make sure I don't pull on it again, because I imagine that pod's coming out of there again. First, I'll take out this pod and see if I can sort out the, what do I got to do? I went today to Princess's Auto and got some very small files. So I'll see if I can make that thing in there right, that hangs on. But first, I'll put together the rest of the dashboard. I'm not too sure where these things go, but I'm sure they'll present themselves somewhere. This one here must be fairly low. Well, that's over that one's pretty easy. I figured that one out. So anyway, and it all looks pretty nice and clean. Look at that, hey? It's a nice clean dashboard. The window must come right here, and then there must be a black spot on the window that covers up this stuff here. But what there must be and what there is are two different things. Yeah, so most of the dash is installed, and then I find out, so it's all looking installed over there. Had it all screwed in over here, but not anymore, because there's this piece that goes on top, gets two screws from the back, which are difficult to get into, and this part here has to go on before you can put on the oh dear me, before you can tie that down, this thing here has to be put in and adjusted properly. So that's what I'm working on right now, is getting the door on it. Yeah, now there's the upper dash all installed finally. So this part here, it's going to rattle for the rest of its life, I'll bet. I'll just see about that. There's two screws that go into the back of that are very difficult to get to, so I didn't bother. Anyhow, 3 screws hold it up front. This thing here, you just turn that and it opens. There's a couple of holders here when I get to it that go into the side to keep it from going down that far. And it closes just like that. So that's all together. Now, down in the radio department there, where the radio and everything fits in, and then there's another piece that goes above that I'll have to figure out there's wires go to it. I have to figure that out. So that's coming. Yeah, so here's the rest of the mystery wiring, right? So there's this red wire. It's got an end on it like that. That wire goes to, see that unit over there? That's the unit that the radio sits in and stuff. And there's a rheostat that's in there. Here it is. This rheostat thing controls the brightness of the lights. Now, it works, sort of, but it doesn't work great. Works okay for a 40-year-old unit. Anyhow, this red goes into one side of that rheostat right there. And then this white with red goes to the instrument panel and all this stuff here and illuminates everything there. This brown and pink here, and like white with pink on it, you know, it could be pink. Anyhow, I'm going to say it's pink. That's the power for the radio. That's speaker wire for one side. And then here's speaker wire for the other side. It should be in that same thing there, but it isn't. I think that's speaker wire. Yeah, that's speaker wire for the other side. This black one here is just a ground wire that goes out there and grounds whatever needs to be grounded. And then this purple wire with a blue tab on it, that's the cigarette lighter. So, cool. Now I just have to get it all put together and see what happens. I haven't got a radio for it yet, so one of these days I'll get a radio for it. So anyhow, that's the, excuse me, that's how things fit. See if I can get it done and done. Yeah, don't you love it when stuff works? So here's this rheostat. Now, I've got the wire, this is the wire coming in, power wire. This wire here goes to this panel illumination, which hangs right here eventually. Then this wire here goes out to the panel over there, like the lights over there. And then this wire here, which I haven't closed yet, it goes to the cigarette lighter illumination. So I'll get that done. Anyhow, but here, now I don't know if you can, first off I'll point it right here on those things, right? So there's 2 of these, there's 4 lights here, but 2 of them are burnt bulbs, so I'll get them fixed up. Now, I don't know if I was recording before or not. Anyhow, here's this rheostat thing, right? So, makes the light go dimmer or brighter. And then over there, you can see that the lights are on in the dashboard. Wait till I turn this light off. You can see the lights on in the dashboard over there. So I'll dim them down. Oh, hard to keep everything pointed in the right way. There, that's turning the rheostat down and up. So that seems to work. And that's quite cool. Now I have to get a couple of more light bulbs for this illuminator. And all it does is illuminate the heaters stuff there. Cool. Now, I guess I can shut off the lights. And I'll go on a hunt for light bulbs. Yeah. Can't find these little tiny bulbs like that. Closest size I can get is a little bit smaller than that. This size here. Like that. So, anyhow, here's what I did. I've got some coax wire here, so I've got it negative to the outside, positive to the inside, and then I just soldered it on here and made sure they don't touch each other, and it seems to work. I'll stick that in and see what happens. There's kind of the way it goes together. Now I'll put some, like I turned that wire and then tape it around there and put a little bit of heat shrink on the end of it. So there, we'll show you when it's, well, where's my other one? Yeah, here's one done, right? And then this very conveniently has this little holder tube in there, so that actually holds that bulb. So I'll slide that in there and that'll be good. Yeah, here we are. So now here's the rheostat thing, right? And it must be, I must have done something right somewhere because it's really working quite well now. Up and down it goes. Gets to be like dim and then brighter. And then everything over there has got lights on it. Bright and off. Give it a little turn here. And then dim. So that's the way it's supposed to be, right on. Now this little wire here, that goes off to the, what do you call that? Cigarette lighter light. So I'll fix that right now. Yeah, so here we are now. It's checking out these lights. So you turn that on and it lights up those green lights above there. Yeah. Dims them, brightens them, right? Then the lights on the, like right here and here, this one here doesn't come through very well because there's only, it carries the light across, eh? So that works. The lights inside the dash work, right? And this other light back here, that's for aftermarket oil pressure gauge. Then the other thing that works, it also has, like I'll take out the lighter here in a second. Well, a couple of seconds. Have to wait until it does its click. You press in the lighter and you know how often everybody uses cigarette lighters nowadays, right? Well, this one here works. And now it's too hot to put down anywhere. Inside the cigarette lighter there's a light so that you can find the cigarette lighter again after you take it out, right? Anyway, how cool is all that? So, I'm happy with that. The glove box opens. I don't think there's a light inside there. It's odd that there isn't, but then maybe there was at one point. And I have to put the back cover on that, but that's all right. And now I can turn on some lights again. Hang on. Just turn on this light here and show you. So all the dash stuff is in. Now I don't have a radio for it yet, so that's just open there. And one of these days I'll get a radio and stick it in. But that won't be too difficult. I have all the wiring figured out for that. Anyhow, there we go. I think it's pretty near quitting time anyhow today. We'll just check it out and see what time it is. I'll turn on some more lights here so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, there's lots of lights on in the car. There. So now, that's another day. Pretty well done because it's 5:45. So time to go and make supper. I'll shut it down for today and see you tomorrow. Yeah, there now. I've that's yesterday's work there. I'll still put in that little piece that goes up around the ignition there. I'll put that in right away. So, but the now as I was thinking about it, used to be there was a radio in there. Used to be there was an antenna hole over there. Now I've taken them both out. I don't really want to put an antenna back on it. So I thought about it and I said to myself, well, why would you bother putting a radio in that would talk to your telephone so you could listen to your music from, Spotify, or listen to music from the YouTube on your telephone through the radio? Why not just put in a set of Bluetooth speakers? So that's what I'll do. So I'll cover that up and I'll make a little bit of a port there that I can plug the telephone into and things like that. And then I'll put a couple of speakers back here and run some cabling back here just to keep the speakers charged up on. And that should work. We'll just see how that figures out. Anyhow, that's the plan for now. Yeah, now to get all this stuff in, I have to take out what I did yesterday. It's kind of works from the back to the front here on this stuff. But that's the way it is. So I'm going to take out that the center panel there. That'll give me an opportunity to fill in that hole there too, so that's okay with me. And then after that I'll put in this stuff here and put the gear shift stuff all on there. Yeah, no, that's so there's a screw here that goes right through this. There's a screw there that just goes into this metal bit for holding that together. And then there's a rubber seal underneath that that keeps it all together, right? Then now the plastic part, wherever it is, over there, it goes on, but I have to have the boot ready to go on somehow or other. Let me think about that. Yeah, no, that's in solid now. This, like, it was all broken there and all broken here. So I went and I made a couple of little tabs just to go over and hold it down because it's solid at the back. Well, one of them is solid at the back. And there's two up here that are solid. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out of 6 possible solid connections, 5 are okay. So I'll make it at that. Yeah, there now, it's all the stuff is in and solid, like it's not rattling around or anything. That's good. This thing here, I gotta leave it up for a little while more before I put it down. And it gets some bolts at the back when I get the back piece here, which isn't here yet. Now, I'll put the front piece back on. Looks like there's a couple of screw holes down here for something or other. Check that out. Yeah, so there, that's all installed there now. Even put the knob on it, and I put the cowling around the steering wheel there. Give you more light. So it all looks pretty good, and these bits here go up along this edge here. Not ready to put them on yet, I don't think. I think next thing that's going to go in is seats are going to go into it. And that'll get them off the floor and out of the way. And then after that, maybe I'll put the roof on. Yeah, got to put the roof on before I put the seats in because that'll make it easier to work, right? That'd be a smart thing to do. Okay, roof is next, maybe. Gotta figure out how to do that now because I've got a new fabric for the roof upstairs. That might just turn into another video next week, right? Where am I at? What did I get done? I got carpeting put in, right? It's looking dirty now, right? Dirty. Got all this stuff here put in. Seems to work. The lights are close to working, so maybe that's what's a good thing to finish on today is go back to the lights. What's it? It's 3 o'clock. So I'm going to take this pod out. I'm going to see if I can fix up the crank thing, put it back in, then take the other pod out, fix up the crank thing, put it back in, and then see if that makes the life any better. Like I've decided, the timing mechanism on them is set at the factory. Like you can't change that. It's on the cogs. So it's a matter of getting the cogs so they're holding the headlights right. There we go. This thing here was on Amazon for a reasonably good price, and it's got all sorts of all the screws you ever want, and more. So all the ones that you don't want, I guess you just never use, but the ones that are lots of them are fairly useful, and they all sort of fit right where you want them to fit. So handy stuff. So here now, this is the passenger side pod, right? There you go. And down in here, this is where there's a bunch of slop on the driver's side one, but here there's no play at all. There was a tiny bit of play, so I took it off. I took this apart, and then I took it over to the anvil and I squeezed this, made that squeeze together so it's a tight fit on that bit of that thing there. So it's flat on two sides and rounded on two sides. Anyway, that one's good. I'll tighten it back down. I'll put it back in the car, and we're happy with this side. There's nothing that's the way it came. That's the way it is. Yeah, so another thing that's been on my mind since I've been this apart and together so many times, there's a little, like right there, that wiring harness was sitting on top of the pod, and it would go flapping up and down. Now there's a little tab that comes out. I was looking around, and there's a little tab that comes out from the fender there, or from the cowling, and it's got a hole in it, so you can put a tie wrap on it and tie that thing up there. And then it's out of the way and it won't get whacked around by the pod motor. That's partly I ran into trouble on the other side with that kind of pod motor jamming stuff, so I'm a little bit more careful now. Yeah, so here's pod number 2. So I'll just take this connection off of here, pull that bolt out of there, and then I'll see if I can make that a little bit better fitting here like it is on the other side. There, now I've had it apart and I've filed that edge on the inside and on the outside, and it seems to be pretty tight now. I've tightened it down with just putting the nut on it and tighten it down, and it comes down to like this. The nut comes down flush, so that's good. So I think that's about as tight as it's going to get. That's using, like I used these little files that I bought, which are quite handy for that small stuff. Anyway, I'll put it back together now, and maybe you can always cross your fingers for success. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so there now. Now I haven't run it yet to see if it works. We'll just see now. I've got them all plugged in and all set up to go, and turn the lights on. Up they go. Hey, that's a first. Down they go. Look at that, they're going together. Up they go. Down they go. As long as they travel together, they're a happy system. So I think I got it solved. So what was going on was the pod on this side here, the driver's side, left-hand side, the connection to the little arm that lifts the pod, or actuates. Inside the little motor thing, there's a worm gear, and that worm gear drives an axle, and that axle hooks onto like the shin bone. It's connected to the something or other, right? Hip bone. So that axle is connected to the little device that pushes the pod up. So if the pods aren't running exactly in time, then they start doing that wonky business, blah, 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 blah. And so now what I've done is I've tightened, I made sure that one was good, and it was nice and tight, like a factory finish. this side here was loose, and so last week I did some welding on it, and I welded up, you know, around whatever you call that, inside the little hole on the arm, and then I sort of jammed it on there as well as I could, and it seemed to work fairly well. But it still had some looseness in it, like you could still flop it back and forth a bit. So this time here I filed down on the inside really well, and I filed down on the shaft part so that it'd be nice and straight and flat, and then it all sat together, and there's no slack at all in it. It doesn't have any slack, so now they work. Hey, isn't that nice? There you go. So that's my story, and I'm going to stick to it because I think that's about right. Yeah, so then it's Friday, and then that's about it for this week. So I'll get a video out for you tonight, and Good Friday today. Isn't that something? I'll get a video out tonight, and hope you enjoy it all, and I hope to see you again next week.